The sheriff's voice came crackling through the phone before sunrise. "Son, your fields are full of glowing eyes and spinning blades again." And that's how my day started, standing there on my porch in muddy boots, coffee mug steaming in my hand, staring out at a sky swarming with HOA drones hovering like mechanical vultures over my barn. You want to know what real crazy looks like? Try sipping coffee while half a dozen camera drones circle your fence line, their red lights blinking like a silent alarm. The cows just chewed their cud unbothered, but the horses shifted and snorted, and every fence sensor on my property started pinging like I'd set off a car alarm at Fort Knox. And I didn't need to guess who was behind it. HOA President Karen Whitmore, self-declared sheriff, judge, and executioner of all things neighborhood standards, the same woman who once fined me because my windmill looked too rustic for her taste. She'd been ramping things up ever since I told her I'd rather scrub pig troughs than join her Saturday clean yard patrols. Last week it was a letter threatening to fine me for painting my barn door the wrong shade of red. This week it was drones. I finished my coffee, walked right into the yard, and looked up at those buzzing pests. "Karen, you've officially lost your mind," I said loud enough for any hidden microphones she'd planted to pick it up. "Wouldn't you know it, one of those drones dipped its lens and focused on me like it actually understood English?" I waved, slow and sarcastic. Then, out of pure stubbornness, I grabbed my old compound bow off the porch, took aim, and thunk arrow straight through a propeller. The drone spiraled into the mud by the trough chickens scattering everywhere. That one little act, well, I guess that's where the legend started. Within an hour, Karen was blowing up my phone. The HOA board called an emergency Zoom session. Heck, a news van rolled down my gravel driveway because Karen told everyone I'd violently shot down a rescue drone monitoring local wildlife. Yeah, because cows and barn cats are now endangered species, apparently. The absurdity of it all. Sometimes I think I'm living in a sitcom. Deputies showed up. Karen marched over in her pink blazer and sunglasses, waving a clipboard like it was a sheriff's badge. "He's a danger to the community," she yelled. "His property is a surveillance blind spot. We have every right to inspect it." I looked her dead in the eye and said, "Karen, your drone's trespassed. I'm just keeping the sky as clean as your lawn." The deputy just sighed. He'd seen our feud enough times to know it was going nowhere good. He told Karen to back off, told me not to escalate. But that night, as the sun went down, a whole new squadron of drones showed up, 10 of them lined up just beyond my fence, blinking and buzzing like they were taunting me on purpose. That's when my nephew filmed them from the porch and posted it online. By breakfast, the video had hit 100,000 views, comments pouring in. "HOA spying gone wrong, drone, War Ranch edition." Karen tried to shame me, and instead she made me internet famous, which gave me an idea. If she wanted a drone show, I'd give her one. I started studying drone signals, digging up old radio gear, watching YouTube tutorials about interference. My neighbor Jimmy, a retired Air Force mechanic, got wind of it. He helped me build a net launcher out of fishing line, PVC pipe, and a battery from his old ATV. We laughed so hard the first time we caught a drone that I nearly split my side. Jimmy slapped my back and said, "You could charge admission for this circus," and you know he wasn't wrong. If Karen wanted a spectacle, I'd make her the main attraction. Next weekend, I put up a sign, "Ranch Drone Rodeo $10 tickets." We set up folding chairs, made popcorn, and posted the event online. Saturday came and cars lined up down the road. Kids' parents, even the sheriff stopped by to keep things legal. The first drone appeared whining like a mechanical mosquito, and the crowd went wild. I took aim, launched the net, and caught it right out of the air. The cheer, you'd think I'd roped a prize bull. Karen showed up halfway through, furious, ranting about airspace rights. Someone sold her a ticket, and she had to stand there fuming while I lassoed her third drone in front of everyone. It was the best revenge I could have dreamed up. No anger, just pure comedy. By the end of the day, I'd caught 4 drones, made $300, and my nephew's live stream hit 500,000 views. The local paper started calling me the Drone Wrangler. Of course, Karen tried everything. Complaints, threats, even called the FAA. The sheriff, bless him, told her, "Lady, if you don't want your drones caught, don't fly them where they don't belong." That night I stood on my porch, held up a busted drone, and said to the camera, "Next time, Karen, send popcorn with them." That line ended up everywhere. Memes, t-shirts, you name it. I should have known Karen wasn't done. Because the next day a new drone showed up. 6 rotors, big camera, looked more military than hobby store. I sipped my coffee, muttered, "Well, here we go," and waited for the next round. Sure enough, news trucks parked along the road. Folks started showing up just to watch. Karen marched around barking orders into her walkie-talkie, holding a legal folder. She tried to read FAA regs to the crowd, but I had already memorized them. Drones under 400 feet on private ag land, not her jurisdiction. The sheriff backed me up and Karen's face froze like she'd bitten a lemon, but she wasn't about to lose in public. That afternoon she called the county inspector. Mark Davis showed up, practical guy, once fined Karen for illegal landscaping. He saw the whole scene, sighed, and asked, "You running a carnival now, Rick?" I just shrugged. Just defending my airspace the old-fashioned way. He inspected, then turned to Karen and said, "No violation, Karen. Maybe just fewer drones." She stormed off, but I could see she was plotting something new. That night I saw workers installing a metal pole with a weird antenna near the HOA clubhouse. One of the guys whispered surveillance station. That ticked me off. If she wanted to claim the sky, I'd take it higher. Dug out an old weather balloon, strapped on some lights, and launched it at midnight. From a distance, it looked like a government drone. Within an hour, Karen was on her phone calling everyone in a panic. Next day, the rumor mill said FAA's watching the HOA. I laughed so hard I nearly spit my coffee. But the truth is, it was getting tense. Karen started talking to private security firms. Her brother Todd showed up with fancy gear, photographing my fences, calling my net launcher hazardous. People kept showing up. The whole town turned it into an event. Someone said, "This is better than Netflix." And for a while it really was. But Karen couldn't stand losing control. One evening, her army of drones rose in formation lights, spelling out HOA property rights. Crowd gasped. Then half the drones hit the trees and crashed. Best fireworks I've ever seen. After that, things escalated fast. Karen filed a lawsuit for public humiliation, sent a private investigator, even tried to freeze my bank account, claim I was running an illegal aerial operation. She had help from her brother's security company, too. I kept up posting every document online, live streaming my side, letting the world watch Karen spiral. It all peaked one night when she tried to stage a grand finale, dozens of drones, lights, the whole show. Jimmy and I rigged a jammer from her own gear, and when she hit the switch, her entire fleet crashed in flames. The crowd cheered. Karen dropped to her knees, screaming, and that's when it hit me. People like her don't stop until they've lost everything. The next morning, her house was empty, blinds open, SUV gone. She'd vanished. But not before one last letter. "Enjoy your fame." People don't forget humiliation. A week later, my bank froze my account again. Anonymous complaints. Insurance flagged my property. Bureaucracy became her new weapon. I answered with full transparency, put everything public, shared every report, turned it into a national story about privacy and power. The feds started investigating her misuse of surveillance, property violations, even cybercrimes. Her old allies dropped her fast. The last time I saw her, she was a shadow at the edge of a crowd during my big truth broadcast. She looked hollow, haunted by what she'd started. Soon after, federal agents took her statements, arrested her for hacking county cameras and forging permits. She disappeared for good. The ranch finally went quiet, no more buzzing, no more lawsuits, just birds and wind and the soft clatter of fence gates. Was it worth it? Some days I wonder. The community pulled together, the HOA dissolved, and folks started waving again instead of whispering. Jimmy still brings coffee and jokes about the drone wrangler legend. But sometimes when the wind shifts just right, I still look up, half expecting a red light blinking through the clouds. You know, when you stand up to people like Karen, you don't do it to be a hero. You do it because if you don't, they just keep going. Sometimes the fight costs your peace for a while, but it's the only way to keep your soul. Now, when folks ask if I'd do it all again if I regret not letting it go sooner, I tell them freedom's never free, but it's worth every ounce of trouble. So tell me, what would you have done? Would you have fought or just let her take the sky? Drop your stories in the comments, because somewhere out there, another Karen's watching. And who knows, maybe next time it'll be your sky they try to steal. If you believe in standing your ground, hit that like, share your own battle scars, and remind the world privacy and dignity are worth fighting for, no matter how high the drones fly.